What up, my people? ¿Qué pasa, mi gente? Welcome, bienvenidos to another episode, otro episodio de Hoy En Día TV. I'm your host and producer, Yessi Rodriguez, bringing onto the stage my amazing two co-hosts. We have Dr. CC, the actionist, and Nadine Barton, author, entrepreneur. Both of them are doing amazing things. So, welcome, lovelies. How are you?
We're doing well. Doing well.
Doing so good.
Happy, terrific.
It's a rainy day here in Georgia. Raining
Here
like
too.
crazy. Raining cats and dogs, lightning and thunder. I'm like clutching my pearls, my invisible pearls.
Yeah. It's been raining here too, but no, well, not where I'm at. No thunder or lightning though, but just light rain.
Yeah. It's always a good day when it's raining and you're in the house. You know, I always love the rain when I'm indoors, but it's been raining here all day.
Yeah, I feel you. It's the same over here too. So how has your week been? Anything new? Anything that you are working on or excited about coming up?
It's been busy. So as you know, that I dropped being a travel agent and I reinvented it back again. Like I came back from out of retirement. But I just wanted to focus on the acting. But when the Lord called you to do something and when you're great to people, it will happen. Your work ethic showing everything and people, they don't want to see you go. So you have to reinvent and come back. And even if it's for one person, you just got to do what you have to do. Just keep that work ethic, keep that ethics, be loyal, be honest with people, and they will always come back in whatever business that you have. They will always come back. Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
You're
Absolutely.
Right, you provide amazing customer service.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're great at travel. It's just one of those things where travel in general, it's like fluctuates. It has its peak seasons and its slow seasons. And so it's just one of those things where just continue to push it and grow it and it'll continue to grow beautifully. So yes, Nadine's Travel Oasis. That commercial is coming back soon. So
that's right. And how are you feeling, Yessi? You said you were under the weather. How are you feeling today?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I am pushing through, but the last couple of days has not been good. Like I've been laying down pretty much all day. Like I woke up with a really bad headache. My nostrils, it was like hard to breathe. I think it's just a combination of allergies and just doing too much. And my body's like, whoa, you're doing too much, man. We gotta sit down. And then with my allergies, the climate is shifting, and throughout allergy season, like my allergies get really, really bad. So I'm just trying to push through. I took a couple Motrins and
I'll tell you what CC told me to take when I was sick, and it worked really well. That Theraflu with the acetaminophen in it, the Tylenol, and that marshmallow tea, that worked wonders. So if you get that, and if you see me working side to side, my monitors are like, I don't know if you could see my eyes, but I have you guys on one screen and then over here. But yeah, so definitely try the marshmallow. What is it, CC? Rooted tea, the marshmallow rooted.
Yeah, the marshmallow root, the marshmallow root. And you can also do mullein leaf. Mullein leaf will help get all of the congestion out, and everything. And you add a little bit of, honey and stuff, and it'll be good. It doesn't taste bad. It's not a bad tea. But yeah, mullein leaf and the mushroom root. Yeah, it'll help you out.
And that Theraflu with the Tylenol.
Yeah, my husband used the Tylenol. Yeah, David's been feeling kind of sick here this morning, or even yesterday when he came in. Yesterday he was in a car accident. He got rear-ended. I can't talk. And it wasn't too bad. But any kind of impact, whether people are going at a slow speed or a high impact, your body still, has to adjust to that hit. And so you might not feel it right away, but you might feel it down the road, right? Where the neck and the back and all of that, And so right now he's okay, but he is not feeling not feeling good either. And so I got my tea, y'all, like this little tea. I put the mullein root, I put the mullein leaf, the mushroom root, the rose hips, the echinacea, the ginger, the lemon, the honey, just like all of these herbs, right? All of these herbs. And we drink, and it's a preventative tea. So we drink that. So now that he's sick, I'm like, oh, I'm making my tea. So I was making my tea before I left to head out for work this morning, I was like, let me get this tea and just make sure everybody drinks it in the house, because it really tell you, it prevents you from just eating everybody else's stuff. And so, so we're going to be drinking some of that. It doesn't smell good. My brother came down because you guys, my brother, came back from the Netherlands being overseas, and he was like, "What is that smell?" But it does help you get better. For sure.
You're talking about the mullein tea, right? Because the marshmallow tea, it doesn't have a smell. You talk about the mullein rooted tea.
No, this is like my compilation of all the herbs that I kind of put in with the rose hips and the echinacea and the mullein and everything. I combine everything, and you kind of simmer it on the stove, and then you let it cool, and then you have to strain it. And it's like a whole little process. It's very simple. It does work. It's a really dark red tea, and it's really, really good. Yeah.
Did you try the soursop leaves? Do you still have any of the soursop leaves that I gave you? Did you drink it, or did you throw it out?
No, heck no, we don't throw it out, girl. Herbs are expensive, and those things are very, very good. They're rich in antioxidants and all that kind of stuff. No, honey, that's in my body.
That soursop leaf tea, man. I'm telling you, yes, if you could get your hands on some of those soursop leaves tea, then definitely it will help. It helps with a lot of things.
Thank you for that. I'm definitely going to look into that, because me and Rod are definitely big on teas. We love teas. He makes teas every morning with different herbs.
And I'm so sorry. I need to reach out more, because I was even saying, I was like, have you talked to Yessie? Because she's been really quiet and had no idea you were sick, because usually you're more talkative and interactive in the group. So I'm so sorry. I should have reached out. I apologize if I didn't. I feel bad.
You're so sweet. No, it's okay. I appreciate you. Thank you, sis. I know we all have our busy lives, and we all have things going on. So
yeah,
thoughts and prayers, right? All of us, all God's protecting us, and thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. And so, talking about car accidents, I have two scenarios here. So first, I'm sorry to hear, Cece, about your husband, and I'm really praying for his recovery, because like you said, regardless of it's big or small, the impact can be different based on who you are, right? And different people are just different. So along those lines, can you imagine sitting at a stoplight, and all of a sudden a sinkhole comes and sucks your car in? So that's what happened in Omaha, Nebraska. Sinkhole swallows two vehicles. A large sinkhole suddenly opened in Omaha, Nebraska on February 24th, which was 2 days ago. 2 days ago, right in the middle of a busy street and intersection. The roadway collapsed under two vehicles. There was an SUV and a pickup, and both ended up partially swallowed in by that hole. Thankfully, there were no serious injuries reported. Both drivers were able to climb out. Can you imagine climbing out of a sinkhole? So when I read this and I saw this, I was flabbergasted. I'm like, what's happening? Now we're dealing with sinkholes on top of everything else. So what are your thoughts about that?
Ooh, I was flabbergasted, because what was that? Like, what did those people do with their life? Why Cece's laughing at me? That's serious. I mean, I'm not laughing at the situation, but I'm not understanding. How did that happen?
Yeah, so good question. So fun fact for those who don't know, sinkholes primarily, there's different ways that it can happen. So a sinkhole can form underground when water erodes soluble bedrock, so it becomes like limestone. Soil below ground gets washed away, or the infrastructure itself, like the pipes break, washes over the soil, causing the surface to suddenly collapse. So there's different ways to do it, how that sink form can actually form. So
wow.
I know.
I'm just glad there weren't any crazy injuries. And, I was going to say, wow, I mean, what a way to go, unfortunately. But thank God there weren't any injuries. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's scary. I was laughing. You said flabbergasted. I'm like, what's a flabbergasted? I've heard of flabbergasted, but I'm like, you got to put the mud on there, because this was a mother of an ordeal.
That's my new word. I was flabbergasted.
No, that's crazy. Because Florida has had some sinkholes in whole houses. right, have just been, you know what I'm saying? That's scary, y'all. Because it's just like, that is so scary. Like, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it because I can't imagine just being, on a normal day, just traveling at the stoplight and just, trying to go about my merry little way and run my errands. And then all of a sudden my car is in a sinkhole or my house is in a sinkhole or I'm completely in a sinkhole. Like, just walking in the neighborhood. Like, I'm a little nervous in the service because, like, it's unexpected. And how do you see that coming? Like, is there any type of, I don't know, like,
warning?
I'm saying equipment, but it's not equipment, it's technology. I guess, how we scan for like earthquakes and hurricanes and you can kind of, have everything up on the radar. Is there anything like that to kind of scan, any kind of technology for sinkholes? Like, I mean, that's very scary.
That's a good food for thought. Hopefully whoever's watching and listening that has the capacity or able to do something like that, that'll be great. I mean, because that's smart, right? We have all this other fancy technology. Why not have something like that where you can pretty much scan based on the soil? Especially, don't we have like, there's a bunch of geologists and environmentalists. Like, isn't that part of their scope of work? Like, shouldn't they be looking into sinkholes?
Right. But my thing is, as far as those personnel with those, those titles, I don't understand how it works with them. If it's something they randomly go and check, or until the devastation occur, how do they really check for that?
Good point.
I wonder if now surveyors go out. You know how you see those surveyors out there? So since the sinkhole has occurred in that area, I wonder if there's like a certain radius. I'm pretty sure there is, or I would assume that there is, because I'd be like pretty sure about a lot of stuff, and ain't none of because you think this stuff is in motion and it ain't. But I would assume, and I would hope so, that there's a radius in which they span out across to see if there's anything else kind of lolling underneath the earth, you know what I'm saying, to kind of help determine, because really I don't know. That's something we're gonna have to research how we now, with that education that you just gave us about how the sinkholes kind of happen and stuff like that, but can you detect, right, a future sinkhole, right, that's taking place?
Protection, that makes perfect sense.
Good question. So you just mentioned about education. You had posted something in the group this week. How about that Allison Friedman lady or teacher, professor, who got caught on the hot mic blurring out racial slurs about a student on a Zoom call? Can you imagine? Can you imagine 100? I don't even know how many people were on that Zoom call. And she started blurting out racial slurs about Black people and they're so stupid and all this stuff without knowing that she was on a hot mic. How can you not know that you're on a Zoom call, and unless she wanted to get caught? I know you were sick, Yessie, so you probably missed a lot of things in the group. That's why I'm like, Yessie's pretty quiet in this group because I haven't seen her. But yeah, she got caught on a hot mic blurting out racial slurs about African Americans and about, oh, she's too dumb or too stupid to know that she's in a, what did you say, Cece? She's in a something about the school.
Basically like a subpar school. Like the school was like trash, and so she was like, basically, we're too dumb to know that we're in a bad school and stuff like that. And she didn't know that she was on a hot mic, because when the people began to speak out and told her, like, you're on a hot mic, stop it now. It was a long pause. And then she was like, it was a student that was speaking, and then she was like, go ahead and continue. Yeah. So she's probably gonna, because I looked her, I wanted to see what she looked like on all this stuff. And it's at a university there. And so what was the name of the university? Was it something?
It was like Hunter College in New York. Hunter College.
Hunter's, yeah, that college. Yeah. That's
and
it.
I'm familiar.
So people, yeah.
Was she released from her duties or no?
So people
she was fired.
Wow, I gotta see.
Oh, was she fired? I didn't see what had happened. I just saw. Okay.
Yeah, it says the article, the link you had posted says from the news, Hunter College professor Allison Friedman sparks fury as she's caught on hot mic making blatantly racist comments. And in
the article as well. In the article as well, they said they had to investigate to see if this was basically against the school policies. That made me kind of stop and think. I was like, what do you mean? So, they had, do their due diligence make sure, right, this wasn't, against, or for the school policy. So yeah,
but
that part.
but that's just that, I'm gonna say the word, that is really retarded for them to even come out and say that, because even I don't know if it was the person who was hosting the Zoom call, he didn't say what she was saying was out of order, disrespectful. He basically said, you can't be heard. Like, that's the first thing you're gonna say. You can't be heard. Basically, you're on a hot mic. Well, how about you saying the things that you're spewing out of your mouth is inappropriate? Why are you just saying, oh, you can be heard? Like, if you pull up the article, and yeah, he kind of sound authoritative on the call, but needless to say, he didn't say the right things. He should have told her that, what are you saying? You're saying the things that are very disrespectful and out of order, instead of saying, oh, you're caught. So maybe who knows? He's probably in cahoots with her behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yeah. Could very well be. Could very well be. The other thing, to take it a step farther is to, like, she's bringing irreparable damage to this college name. You see what I'm saying? So her saying that and saying, how are you determining that this school is inferior to other schools? Because you're saying basically the people that go there, they're dumb, but there are all sorts of students that go to the school. It's all sorts of races that go to the school, right? So now you're doing irreparable damage. So, the university could sue her as well, because if it was my business, right, and you say something like that, yeah, to fire you, to get rid of you, that's one thing. But now this might decrease my numbers, right? This is putting me in a bad light, all that kind of stuff. So how many thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars I'm losing because of what you did? And you're an educator at this university. So for you to say that, some stuff, you see what I'm saying? Because she might be absolutely right. You know what I'm saying? And other people might not be, onto it. So it can kind of really, affect this. And I'm sure it will, and so however many students don't go to this college now say, hey, we're not going to be a part of that. Now they're losing money. And if it were me, I'm just saying, like, we would have to have another conversation, because sister girl, right? She might be very well sued. Mm-hmm.
I dropped the link in the chat, but that's it. I know you probably not going to be able to pull it up right now, but yeah, that's the link. Cece had posted in the chat, but
yeah, I was able, as I was listening to you, I was also.
Oh yeah, it was.
As I was listening to y'all researching.
Yeah, it was horrible because
here it says Hunter College.
Go ahead, Yessie.
Hunter College, Arts College in Manhattan. They offer undergraduate and graduate programs. It looks like Allison Friedman, an associate professor in the Department of Biology of Sciences at Hunter College. She said during a February 2026 Community Education Council meeting, District 3, she was overheard making a comment saying they're just too dumb to know that they're in a bad school, and referenced a quote about Black people that was widely criticized. Yeah. So right now what's happening, Hunter College placed her on an admin leave. So they didn't release her. They only placed her on an admin leave pending investigation under the university conduct and non-discrimination policies. Students and parents and public figures demand accountability. Many called for her to be removed from her teaching role. And city officials and education advocates said that the comments had a harmful impact on the students and the community. And I agree with you, Cece. Also, that's defamation of the actual university as well. So she should be sued for defamation of character because of her remarks. So absolutely. Yeah, like that's.
And even if she's not sued, me as a parent, or me maybe even going, as a student to that university, I want to know, because you are a biology professor. So, and you're an educator, so some stuff. Like, what are the metrics, right, that you're really seeing behind the scenes versus the metrics that are being shown to the public? You see what I'm saying? And if it is such an inferior school, why are you working there, right? And if it is an inferior school, like, even a step further, like, let's raise the bar. At least the students that you're educating, let's bring them up to speed, right? Right, to make them superior in a sense, just they're saying more educated, right? Do your job as an educator, right? To make sure that they have the very best education coming from you. So then it makes me think, are you just kind of toying the line, right? And just giving them mediocre, information, it's so many facets to this thing. And, you know, we really got to look at education, because y'all, look, these professors like her are in our educational systems. These people are coming out, right, to provide services. Biology, that can go a myriad of different ways. I mean, that could be health and sciences. It can be research. It can be so many things, right, to where you're dealing with the public, or you're dealing with things behind the scenes where it's going to affect people still, though. You see what I'm saying? So it's a really big deal. It's a really big deal. And the discussion needs to be brought to the table. And I hope for all other educational institutions that are out there that, I mean, I know you can't control who you hire to a degree, like how they think and stuff like that, because you just see what their professional resumes say and that kind of stuff. But when you see bigotry like this in your organization, right, when you see people like this, you need to call them out. And I'm not even going to say that everybody needs to be fired. Honestly, we need to have a conversation. We need to get down to the meat and potatoes, because she may have a very valid point. And Hunter College or University, they need to go back to the table now. You see what I'm saying? It's like a whole thing. People think just because you fire somebody that the problem is solved, and that's not it. You got to go to the head of the organization, right, to begin to affect that change. So in a sense, no, do I like what she said? No. But she has brought some things to light, and that kind of stuff needs to be investigated and discussed.
But here's the thing with that too: God doesn't like ugly, and it will, what's in the dark will always come to light. And she brought it out.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. We are having such a juicy conversation, but we do have a guest waiting behind the scenes for us. So we're going to take a quick sponsor break. And when we come back, Nadine, this is your guest. So would you give us the honors to introduce our guest, please, when we come back from sponsor break?
Absolutely. Yes.
Great. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Hoy En Día is coming right back.
At Cab Zenza, we believe beauty is a ritual, not just a routine. Rooted in intention and inspired by nature, our skincare is crafted to nourish more than just the skin. It nourishes the spirit. Every jar is made with purpose, because when you flourish inside, it shows on the outside. Cab Zenza's isn't skincare, soul care.
From the moment that I put this Cab Zenza on my skin, it feels most amazing. As you can see, it has your skin glistening, it's moisturizing. You too should get Cab Zenza.
Luxurious.
A bold builder of people, purpose, and platforms, Girls with Gigs helps high performers and those desiring to achieve more shift mindsets and activate purpose. Whether it's career or leadership development, personal branding, or knowing your worth. In the job market, transformation has never been closer, because this is where purpose meets action and dreams become destiny. Book your free consultation today at www.girlswithgigs.com.
Are you looking for the perfect shirt for that special occasion? At Collective Custom Wear, we bring your vision to life. From weddings, family reunions, anniversaries, or casual outing with friends, express yourself with your unique style and leave a memorable mark. Order now. Our custom shirts are designed just for you.
Yes, order now. We have some amazing sponsors. We have the Body Butters, we have Custom, we have Inspired for Purpose. We have a little bit of this and that and everything else, because life is this and that and everything else, right? You just don't know. Like, hey, a few days ago I was feeling good, and I woke up not feeling so good. But guess what? We're pushing through, because that's how it goes, right? It's the waves of life. Hey, all right. So we're going to introduce our special guest, Spotlight on Nadine.
All right. So I'm happy to introduce Dr. Ryan S. Scott, and he is a community engagement manager at Georgia Tech's Enterprise Innovation Institute, where he supports the Georgia Artificial Intelligence in Manufacturing initiative. In this role, he leads statewide community engagement, partnership development, and workforce outreach efforts that connect manufacturers, educators, community organizations, and public sector partners to advance AI-enabled manufacturing, innovation, and talent development across the state of Georgia. Previously, Dr. Scott served as Director of Education Initiatives at the Urban League of Greater Pittsburgh and as co-director of the Black Male Leadership Development Institute, the BMLDI, in partnership with Robert Morris University, and the Black Female Leadership Development Institute, BFLDI, in partnership with the Pennsylvania State University Greater Allegheny campus. Throughout his career, his work has provided academic guidance, leadership development, and youth serving resources to more than 1,200 students, with a focus on educational access, equity, and long-term attainment. Dr. Scott earned his bachelor's degree in communications with concentration in business and a minor in history from West Virginia University. He holds a master's degree in education from Argosy University and an MBA from Carlow University, strengthening his expertise at the intersection of education, leadership, and organizational management. Early in his career, he worked with the Pittsburgh Leadership Foundation's Amakai Pittsburgh Mentoring Program, supporting children and families impacted by parental incarceration. He later advanced from program manager to director of education initiatives at the Urban League of Greater Pittsburgh. Dr. Scott earned his doctorate in education, Ed.D, from the University of Pittsburgh with a concentration in higher education management. His doctoral research focused on pre-college access and mentoring programs and their relationship in academic achievement and post-secondary attainment for students of color. A nationally recognized leader, Dr. Scott is a graduate of the National Urban League and Duke Corporation Emerging Leaders Program and a Pittsburgh Magazine 40 Under 40 honoree. He served as a United States ambassador for One Young World, representing the U.S. at global summits in Johannesburg, South Africa, Dublin, Ireland, Bangkok, Thailand, and Bogota, Colombia, contributing to conversations on leadership, global citizenship, and social change. He has served on the board of directors of Pittsburgh Playwrights and the DOOR campaign, a STEM-focused youth development initiative. His additional recognitions include Pittsburgh's Fab 40, Western Pennsylvania Rising Star, a mayoral citation, and selection as a City of Pittsburgh groundbreaker. In service to his community, Dr. Scott has served on advisory boards for Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Greater Pittsburgh, mentored students through multiple leadership initiatives, and held leadership roles within Iota Phi Theta Fraternity, Inc., including Assistant Regional Polaris. In addition to his professional work in education, innovation, and community engagement, Ryan Scott is also a professional actor and host based in Atlanta. He has appeared in independent films, television projects, and digital productions, portraying nuanced characters that explore themes of family, power, morality, and resilience. His work in storytelling complements his career-long commitment to representation, connection, and social impact. A native of the greater Pittsburgh area, Dr. Scott remains deeply committed to advancing economic opportunity, educational equity, and social justice, both through systems-level innovation and authentic storytelling. I am honored to welcome Dr. Ryan Scott.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I say, no, that bio is way too long.
Well, that's you. You've accomplished all that.
Truncated. I'm like, yeah. But no, thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, welcome to Hoy En Día. We are thrilled to have you. Wow, yes, very, very robust bio, but you should be proud of your accomplishments. You've done so many amazing things, and that's impressive, right? I salute you for that. And so Nadine did a wonderful job reading this robust, amazing bio, but in a nutshell, who do you say you are?
Who do I say I am? I would say, first of all, I'm a child of God. Definitely love the Lord, who is most definitely, my number one in the reason for what I do. I'm a father, I'm a family man, I'm an educator, I'm a strategist, I'm a connector. I'm an actor as well. And so that, I understand the story. I typically understand the story. I understand presence. I understand how to move in rooms, whether it be a corporate room or a film set. I'm a ecosystem builder, building pipelines, building legacy. I like to call myself someone where tech meets culture. So that's the kind of the space that I'm in right now. And it's really, really cool. So a lot of things. So stay tuned to see more.
Yes, because we're definitely going to dive deep into these questions. And of course, this is conversation, nothing super formal, but more just going off of what you shared with us today. So when you hear your bio being read out loud, right? An AI innovator, 40 under 40, global ambassador, what part of your journey feels the most personal to you, or just in general?
Man, you know what? It's kind of wild that you say that, because even when it's being read, like some of the things that have happened, I feel like they've happened like forever ago. And I mean, and it really, for some of it hasn't been that long, but so much is going on. And I just thank God for opportunity to be able to be passionate about the things that I'm doing. So I mean, you know what? It's hard to say. I think at different points in my life, certain things were more important, than others. But I mean, all of it is what I'm extremely passionate about. I'm definitely I like to say a servant leader. So someone who's definitely been in the social services industry for some time, even if it's been in the corporate world. It's been kind of my niche and why I do what I do. And it's all surrounded and connected with people. I love people.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. I'm going to spotlight my co-hosts before I ask my other questions. So,
Okay.
Nadine, did you have any questions for our guests? And then from there, we can pivot over to CC.
Yeah, absolutely. And before I go into my questions, I met Dr. Ryan Scott on set, and I like, you go on set and you connect with people, and he was just so easy to talk to. And while talking to him, I said, we definitely have to have you on our podcast, and I'm just so happy for you to be here. Yes. So yes, so my question is: you are both a policy leader and a professional actor / host. How has storytelling influenced your leadership style, and why is representation in media and innovation spaces so important to you right now?
Well, right now, we're in danger. I mean, if you just, look at what's going on in the news, you see, marginalized communities consistently ostracized and confronted. And it's so important. If we're not going to tell our stories for ourselves, then who is, So I think, platforms like this one is vitally important to be able to share. I think it's vitally important for people who look like us to be able to, tell these stories. And one of the things that I'm passionate about, and even as a father, one of the things I'm trying to teach my kids is to be able to tell their stories, as well. And hopefully to be an example, of someone that they, aspire to be like. Because, one of the things for me was, I am who I am because of the people and the giants who stood before me. I'm not who I am just because I woke up like this or I'm that great. There were a lot of people who looked like me, some who did not, but that poured into, the person who I was. But I'll tell you what was probably detrimental to my success has been, the people who do look like me, because I knew it was a reality. I knew when I looked on screen and I saw, actors such as Will Smith or the Denzel Washingtons of the world, or even, people who are closer as peers, like a Michael B. Jordan or, Ryan Coogler directing. If I see people like that in my space, I'm more apt to see it as a reality, versus not seeing it. So yes, this is detrimental during this time that we're out there and that we're representing, from every platform, whether that be AI in the work that I'm doing at Georgia Tech, or the work that I'm doing on screen.
Absolutely. Valid answer. I appreciate that. And I'm talking about AI. What's one myth people have about AI that needs to be corrected, since you work in that field and, you get probably all kind of crazy questions?
Well, I will say this. There's a lot of myths in AI. I know it's scary, and there's a lot of things that are going on. I know a lot of legislation is working right now on parameters and things to safeguard us, from it. I would say one of the biggest myths, and it's semi-true, but it's not, and you'll understand when I say it, is the loss of jobs. So yes, it will take some jobs. AI will do that. However, there's still a human element that's needed to operate the AI. And there's still a lot of people and opportunity for you to go in and learn it. I like to tell people, and it's particularly communities who are unfamiliar, is that AI is here to stay. And AI has been around. First of all, AI has been around, whether you realize it or not. When you remember even, and I know y'all remember this. I know I'm not that old, but you remember the word and the little paper clip used to pop up and it would tell you, something with the little paper and it would say something, tell you like your spell check, your basic spell check and tell you what to do. Things have evolved over the years. Look at your iPhone. Your iPhone is not the same that it was 10 years ago. It's not that phone. I had the big old Nokia when it came out. I don't know if y'all remember that, but the big old Nokia phone with the antenna and you had to pull it up. I had a car phone. I mean, come on. And now, we're up to 17 Pro Max. Like, I can do everything on this. This is a computer right here in my hand. I can do everything. So, including, watch movies, stream this, whatever I want to do, I can pretty much do that, make business transactions. That's something that was unheard of, but we still need people and a human element to be able to control that.
You could make a whole movie using your phone. You can make
a whole movie. And actually, that's one of the things I'm working on now. So it can be done. It can be done.
Yes, and besides that, we definitely need to shoot some scenes together.
Oh yeah, I got something for you. So yeah, we're gonna talk offline for sure.
Right. And one last question before I turn it over to Dr. Cece. So Ryan, so who poured into you in your early years and in your journey, and how did that shape you today into the man that you are today?
Oh man, I say easily my parents and grandparents. Just the best. I had the best, parents. I didn't want for much. You know what I mean? My mom and my dad worked extremely hard, to pour into me to, we started off in humble beginnings. I'm not going to say we was broke, but we wasn't living lavishly. But I didn't know that. Because all our needs were met. My mom, from a young age, she would take me and my siblings and I to museums, and we were cultured. I mean, we did a lot of stuff. And then when we moved away from my cousins, I remember I was heartbroken. We moved out of I don't want to say the hood, but we moved from our humble beginnings to a more affluent community. And when we moved there, I remember being so upset. We did not want to go there. We saw more people that didn't look like us. So we were like, what is this? What's going on? Now, of course, we understand. Hindsight's 2020, and we understand now, why they did what they did for us. But yeah, man, I just had the best parents and grandparents that just poured into me. I mean, everything from checking my homework every day when I come home from school, knowing who my friends' parents were, investing, time into sports or plays or musicals or things that I was doing. They cared, showing up for my meets, seeing my dad in the stands, watching me. That made a difference. And then even even beyond my family, I had mentors and things along the way. I have one to this day, Dr. Tony Mitchell in Pittsburgh. He's he was a mentor for me. I have a mentor that lives in Dubai now that poured into me. I mean, these are people who weren't my parents or blood at all, but they treated me as family, and they still to this day check on me as a grown man with my own kids. And I love it.
Right. Awesome. Thank you for that answer. And it's the gratitude and the humbleness that, we see forth in your bio into the things you've accomplished. So yeah, those are all the questions I have for now. So I'll turn it over to Dr. Ciandra.
That's awesome. Yeah, that is awesome. That is so good. I love that you say that because you don't get many people that look like you, right? That say they had grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, checking that homework, right? Having those mentors, right? Being at the game, showing up, right? So this is Black excellence, right? It's very, I mean, we say excellence, but should we really call it excellence? That really is the foundation. That's really the basic, right? Of it all. But your family, they poured into you in that regard. Going back to the AI, I was pulling up here when you guys were talking because my cousin, Sherwin, Let's Win Financial, we have this group, and it's always teaching us about investing and like everything financial related, all this financial literacy. And so when we talk about the father of AI, David Blackwell, right? David Blackwell back in 1919 to 2010. It says here that he was a Black mathematician. He's really kind of the founder, so to speak, right? But, of course, we weren't given a lot of the credits and things of that nature. But AI really started back in the 1950s with something as simple as your calculator, right? Doing different things of programming and stuff like that. And so David Blackwell, this gentleman, he was a Black mathematician and statistician, right? Whose work, probability theory, and information theory had the whole foundational mathematics for modern AI as we see it and use it today. So once again, another Black pioneer in history, and also here in the math and the sciences, right? To be able to make AI what it is today, right? So this is really, really amazing. And again, you're right. It's been around like since the 50s, 1950. I think it's 1952, if I'm not mistaken. But it's been around that long. And so in the AI, I love what you said about it. People think you're going to lose those jobs and stuff like that. And what people fail to realize is that you can ask the machine, like, what jobs can you not take from me? And it'll tell you, right? I've done that research, right? I've done that. And a lot of it is in like counseling and in theology and things as well, right? Because the machine can't feel. The machine can't really, they're trying to get it away from the whole generative and it's moving to it like even a different era now. But you can't, a machine can't do that. And people will always challenge me too on the point of saying that the machine is smarter than the human. That's not true. The machine is not smarter than the human because the human had the creativity to create the machine. Now, can the machine outprocess the human? Well, 100%. We know that because you just put it up and it's like, where I would still be kind of writing or trying to type, it's already done, right? That kind of thing. I wanted to talk about your Black, the female, and the male leadership that Nadine was reading about in your bio. Tell us more about that.
Yeah. So, that was an exciting initiative to be a part of. Now, whenever the inception of the project, it was actually prior to me coming on board. So I probably came in, I think it was the second or maybe even third year of the BMLDI, Black Male Leadership Development Institute. And it was a program in partnership with the Urban League and Robert Morris University, which was the goal was to bring 75 to 80 Black and brown boys up to a university to give them a week-long experience at a university, all led by maybe 40 different workshops, all led by Black males and I would say from the courtroom to the pulpit. That would give lessons from everything from, there'll be a session on bringing your A game. There'll be another session that might be relationships. There'll be another one that's, to say how to manage sports and education. Another one on, civic engagement and what's going on in the world. One's on STEM. One's, so it was really a holistic approach where people could come and see themselves. And one of the things that, and I'll stick a pin in this. I'll bring it up now. Actually, one of the mentors I had for a program that I had going up, I invited him back, one of the ones I spoke of. And he surprised me and did come speak to my students. And one of the things he dropped in my lap was an article that was published. And the article was all about me doing the work that I was doing, working with young boys. And it was the same work that he did for me. And the article was titled, "What They See Is What They'll Be." And he surprised me with the article while I was presenting. So it's like a cyclical approach. So the reason why that's so important to me is because that's something that it was so natural. And he brought that to me. And exactly what he showed me is what it was for me. And that's what I hope that it is for other people. As far as the leadership for the females, that was a project that was in conjunction with Penn State University. And that was a program that I was glad to have started because, it's great to have stuff for the men, but we have to have stuff for the ladies as well, right? In order for it to be equally yoked, So that was really important to me to have a leadership program designed for young women with a similar format, similar model, where we had women lead these workshops. And it's been a successful project for our young ladies. They had projects and things that they had to complete and do in front of people, and also build teamwork. Oftentimes there's myths of, women can't get along and women in leadership. And I know we see these, reality shows, and there's nothing wrong with, there is something wrong with some of them, but some of them, there's nothing wrong with, with seeing that the entertainment, of it all. But, it's nice to see, women getting along and women working together in a leadership role, and to show bosses coming together and to help, be a part of helping young bosses make it. It's awesome.
I love it. What was like the age range for the men and for the women? What was that?
The age range for the speakers or for the students?
For the students, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the students were all high school, so they were high school students, grades 9 through 12. So they were still in their formative years. That we were able to, kind of invest in and get with them. And now I've been out of that role since 2017-ish. So I've been out of that space. So now a lot of these students are parents. A lot of them still keep in touch with me. In fact, one of them just saw me on a project and said, "Hey, it was Mr. Scott at the time before Doctor came. He said, Mr. Scott, is this you?" And so they're still keeping tabs on me, and I love when that happens, because it's more than just a moment. You know what I mean? It's a movement. And one of the things that I've always committed to, even now, is I'm in it for the long haul. So these students have been my students and they've come and gone. But they all know, and I'm very transparent and give my information. They can still contact me now, and I'll still pour into them the same way I did then. I would do now.
That's awesome. And my last question is with that program, because I love this kind of stuff. Have you guys, and maybe you have it, but I don't know, done metrics like to kind of track the students that's been through the program to see like if some of their life choices were different, like how many of those students actually went to college and, they're now successful, or, they're entrepreneurs or whatever the case? Like, did you guys do any of that follow-on research?
Yeah, yes, a lot of that's happened, but I've moved on from the project, as far as the metrics were concerned. So I can't tell you any metrics right now. And I mean, a lot of them have been probably about 9 years old, since I've left. But I can tell you from a qualitative standpoint that it works. I mean, it's simply, it works. I mean, just to see anybody pouring into you. I mean, and like I said, I'm a prime example of someone who's lived it. And there's other factors too. I'm not going to say it's cause and effect. You do have, factors, at home didn't hurt having, great parents and having a great family. But I think that, just having those folks and those people in my life, that village, like I say, this village concept is what's important.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, because that I agree with you. It's about pouring in, especially at an early age, because similar to you, during high school, I was a part of a program, Strive Media Institute, and the founder, Matthew Johnson, my hats off to him, amazing man. He had the vision to bring in students from the streets of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, that were interested in mass communication, media, filmography, anything with regards to putting out content. And I was one of the faces of Gumbo Television, which was a teen journalist show that aired different parts of the country. And because of Strive Media and Gumbo TV, we were nominated for a regional Emmy in Chicago, because it was a children's and youth-based show. But I agree with you. Pouring at an early age has that positive correlation, because now look at me. It's like it helped me grow. Yes, I started my acting career at 11, and that helped. And then being a part of Strive Media throughout my high school, then growing into it. So yes, I love that. That really positively shaped you. That's beautiful. And so keeping that in mind, I'm going to pivot back over to AI. So, many people feel intimidated by AI in general, similar to what we discussed earlier. What do you feel people misunderstand most about AI, especially when it comes to like manufacturing and even workforce spaces? Because a lot of people are concerned, like, hey, AI might take my job. What do you feel would be the misunderstandings of that?
Well, like I kind of mentioned earlier, is number one is that there's still a human element that's needed. I mean, I can use a machine all day to pick up oranges and put them in a basket. But if someone's not looking over, to make sure that the machine is on the right settings, you're going to have the wrong amount of oranges. I mean, so you still have to have a human element, and you still have to have that connection. People can't feel. So the AI can create all this stuff and put this stuff together. But if I have to go and sell this product, AI robots are cool, but if I'm speaking to you in a robotic language, even if it is fictitious, you can kind of tell. First of all, it's kind of strange. But to have that depth and that feeling and that human connection, if I know that, yes, he's going to bring me, something that we built relationship,
right.
And now contrary to popular belief, I know a lot of people now are having AI relationships as well. But I think that's another topic maybe for another show. But I believe that human element is important. and very, very necessary. In the way of manufacturing, now, one thing I'll say about that is, gone are the days of when you think of manufacturers, because I don't know about you all, but I know for me, I didn't learn about manufacturing careers being a thing. The only thing I thought about manufacturing were these old, dirty, dusty plants that are dangerous, that nobody wants to go to. You spend 12 hours a day in these places and they're dark and it's, and nobody wanted to do that. But now, manufacturers are state-of-the-art facilities. I mean, so you go in there, and part of my job is to introduce them to smart technologies where we're bringing these smart technologies to plants to help productivity within, plants around the state. And now it's not the same. It's not the same as these dark and dirty, dangerous, plants. These are nice facilities that can't fill the places with work. They're looking for employers now. So I would always encourage people who are looking for a job. Manufacturing is a great way to go, and you don't have to have a 4-year degree. There's a lot of things that are available for you in the manufacturing space, and we're not taught that. But there are a lot. I can't tell you how many plants I go to, and they tell me we're running at 40% capacity. Well, why? No one wants to do it because they think that these plants are just the old school, just hard school labor. Now, some of those still exist. I'm not going to lie to you. Some of them still exist, but many of them they have changed because with the times they've had to.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that makes sense. And thank you for adding the extra layer of context and background about that. It's very, very helpful.
Yeah,
and so with that in mind also, and then you and your experience with mentoring and dealing with parents, for the parents watching right now, what skills would you recommend they should be encouraging their kids, their children, their youth to start preparing for, especially for the future of their work and their workforce?
Yeah, well, definitely learn AI. If you can get your kids involved in any online courses, I know LinkedIn has a bunch of free courses and things like that, or some low cost. I would check in with your libraries or your local community colleges, or just kind of seeing Google, Eventbrite, see what's going on in the way of AI. There's a lot of free webinars and things. I find them all the time, even for work, that I'll check out. I'm a part of the Lunch and Learn that I'm on, weekly, that I listen in on, some AI trends and some things that are happening. It's coming. It's here. It's forever. You know what I mean? So, you can kind of act like you're not going to be a part of it or not, but it's going to be in your face. So I would teach kids at a young age to start learning about that. So, and parents as well.
Absolutely. I like that. Thank you for that. Yeah. And we haven't really spotlighted your acting. I know we briefly mentioned it. So let's spotlight that real quick. So you're a professional actor and a host. So how has storytelling shaped the way you lead? And I'm sure, now they have a lot of fancy tools when you can use AI to create all these fancy scenes and you don't have to spend millions of dollars creating a set. So tell me more about that. Tell us more about that.
Well, from the, I think, how has it helped me lead? I think, it's helped me become, I would say, more confident in my personal life, because, when you're playing roles, you're becoming, I don't even like to call it acting, because I feel like it's a sense of being, and you're really bringing a real person, or, that may be fictional on paper, but you're bringing a person, somebody, to life. Right. And it's your job to really tell the story in an authentic way that resonates with people. So, a lot of times when I'm doing a role, I'm thinking about, what someone that's like that, who exhibits those qualities, and I'm bringing that person to life. It might be an uncle, it might be an aunt, it might be somebody I just interacted with, while they were waiting for the bus and I was walking down the street. So there's a lot of different elements that you can bring to it. But I think it's helped me in my leadership in leading, just because I can being someone else and having the courage to be able to speak in someone else's voice. It has helped me, really bring out my own voice and say, okay, well, this is them, but this is Ryan.
Yeah. Right, I like that. And I'm glad you mentioned the fact that you don't like to call it acting. And this is a reminder that I share often with individuals. It's like the same way you talk to your spouse, it's not going to be the same way you talk to your mom. Mm-hmm. So you're going to be different. Is that considered acting? I feel like that's considered acting, because you're putting on talk to your spouse a certain way, right? To talk to your mom, you're gonna be like, oh, hey, honey, come here. Your mom's gonna look at you like, honey, what's going on with you? You got a fever? You know what I'm saying? Right. Or the same way you're gonna talk to your mom is not the same way you're gonna talk to your dad or your friends, right? So think about it. You are being, even though you're the same you, there's different hats that you have to put on based on how you interact with mom, with dad, with your siblings, with your friends, with your spouse, with your children, with your coworkers, with your acquaintances. There's a very different variation of you. That's acting. Absolutely. I hate to say it. You know, people go, no, that's that. I'm like,
but it is. Right. You can't talk to your friend the same way you may talk to your boss, or you can't talk to the board, you know, the chairman of the boardroom the same way, you know, I'm going to talk on a podcast. Like, it's not going to work the same way. So, yeah, no, definitely, for sure. And I'll even challenge that even within the acting world, you have to, you know, recognize those relationships in the acting world, right? You know, I still can't talk to my mom the same way I would talk to a sibling, or I might talk to a kid. So, you know, like you have to do it in real life, you have to also bring that into on stage or you know, on set.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Awesome. Ladies, any follow-up questions for our guests before we pivot over to last minute words?
No, should we be looking out for anything that you have going on right now?
Yes. I'm really excited about a project that and I guess I can talk about it now. I saw someone else post it, so I think we can talk about it now. But I say we just we're working on a vertical right now that is really, really cool. And you know, I don't know if you're familiar with the micro dramas and the verticals on your phone, but those are the new that's the new wave of things where also representation is needed for us. So make sure if you can hop into those spaces that we get there. But it's called My Husband's Escape Plan, and it's going to be really, really cool. I play a husband who is not so nice, but
oh, you're not a nice guy. I thought you were.
He has some layers to him. So you know, he certainly has some issues and some things that he was personally dealing with, some traumas that have you know, caused for an escape from a marriage.
So that basically the husband didn't heal his inner child.
Look, he's a lot different from Ryan. So he hasn't had the healing that he has because he's reacting in such ways that are not so kind and friendly, or even and not even have to be kind, but you know, I think a lot of times, and this can be in real life, you know, as someone who's really gone through a divorce in real life, is you know, everything doesn't have to end in drama or controversy. People can talk, you know, and I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I've never, you know, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that we all have a responsibility, and we all have, you know, over ourselves, and we can all hone in. And it doesn't have to be drama. Sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Facts. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, people, you know, just like, as they say, take that L, but I mean, take the L with your sanity. Don't bring it up with it.
So, yeah, so check that out. You could also check me out. I just did a project called Lies Uncovered. So, yeah, definitely check that out, too. That was an exciting project to film. We've just wrapped that with Carly Red, Naya Sadan, who else was in that? Clifton Powell, Shelby. There were a lot of cool people a part of that cast. That was really, really fun to shoot. So a lot of projects coming up. Fatal Attraction, you can catch me on a couple of those episodes. Those are still coming out, and I still do those, and which are a lot of fun to kind of tell those crime reenactment stories. So check that out For My Man. I know I just wrapped up another episode of that. So yeah, it's been busy, and also in the process of writing a new project that I'm not going to release the name yet because it's pretty dope. And when you hear it, you'll be like, oh, I already know that's hot. So yes, so definitely stay tuned for that. Hopefully by the end of this year.
Awesome. We can't wait. 2026 is bringing great things.
Absolutely. In it to win it.
In it to win it. I love it. That's exciting. No, you have been an absolute joy to have you on. And so we will definitely stay tuned and look for all of the future projects that's going to be happening and hitting us, right? So we can all prepare for that and watch that. Excellent having you on here tonight.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. And I definitely got to shout out. I know this is a Hispanic titled show. I got to definitely shout out the Cubanos and part Cuban too. So Cubanos para siempre. We in the building. So definitely got to show some love there too.
Okay, Ryan, I didn't know tu hablo español. I didn't know you speak español.
Look, that's it. You never know what I might hit you with it. I mean, I might do some Mandarin next week. You never know.
or some Japanese. Don't
look. You never underestimate. Never underestimate. I am a lifelong learner, so don't be surprised if you see me in the class.
Yeah, it's exactly. Don't judge like my books by its cover. Don't judge a book by its cover. That's right.
Right. That's right. We're layers. There's layers to us.
Because people look at you and oh my God, the bio that I read, and they look at you and they just misjudge you without knowing anything about you. That's the society we're living in, this day and age. Yeah,
absolutely. I get a lot of different responses, particularly too in the study based on how you're dressed. You know what I mean? So I could come like this, and cool, but I can like I said, I can flip it up and be suited and booted in the boardroom or on the red carpet. So I mean, we could it's like, hey, what are we doing here?
Is Yessie frozen? Yes, it looked like she's frozen.
She looks frozen. Well, we are now embarking on our last words, and yes, we can't hear you. You're frozen there.
Well, she went on
our last words,
and then she went back. There she is. Oh, she's gonna log off and log back. I know what she did. She's like, I'm just gonna log off and log back, so we could hear her. Yeah.
Well, we can go ahead and start making it happen. Nadine, if you want to show them. So the last words, for the segment is
there she is.
Back there. Oh, there you are. Can we hear you?
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me?
Yes.
Now we can. Yes.
I don't know what's happening. It must be the rain or something. I mean, I don't know what's happening. Sorry about that, y'all. But yes, so last minute words. But actually, I do have a follow-up question for Dr. Scott, if I can ask. The whole work-life balance. Like, I'm curious. You do a lot. How do you make that work? Like the work and life balance. Fill us in about how that looks for you.
You know what? So that's the $1 billion question, and everyone asks me that. You know what? It's the God, man. I say I hate to be like sound so like cliche, but it's the grace of God. He just really just makes it happen for me. I'm tired at times, but I say, I just ask for his strength, and he guides me truly. And I say, and when you truly believe that, man, it changes the game. So anybody who don't know him, get to know him. I say it'll definitely help you for sure.
There's nothing cliche about that. If he's helping you 1,000 times over, you repeat it 1,000 times over. It's God helping me every day. I wake up and I praise God for the greatness and the goodness. It's
not easy. I mean, there's times like, I got to be on, I got to be, do two things tomorrow. So I have to go, go in office, and then I got to go to, go to set. So it's like, I have different balls I need to juggle, but at the same time, got to make sure, kids are good from school, got, food in their mouth. You know what I mean? All types of things are happening. So, it's a lot to juggle, but it's doable. I mean, it's amazing what the body will do if you let the mind tell it to do. It'll do what you tell it to do. If you say, if you walk around, I'm tired, I'm sick, I don't feel like it. Well, that's what it's going to be. But if you say, you know what? Hey, no, today we're going to boss this out. We're going to get it done. We're going to get it done. Don't wait. Create. Do it.
You're so right. And I need to learn from that too, because I remember, was it last year or the year before? I was working out every day. I was up at Cece, and I was just like getting it in. And then this year it's like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I can't do it. I need to take your advice. I need to keep pushing and get my butt up.
No, I'm talking to myself too. That's so me saying that is me talking to myself, because you'll be amazed what the body can do if you let the mind, if you take control of your mind. This is number one.
That is true. And we're our own biggest critic, I mean, if you have to go on set, like the times that I'm tired and I, for some reason I can't sleep, but if I got to go on set, I have to force my mind, my brain to say, go to sleep. You're going to be waking up early the next day. And I force myself to go to sleep because I know I don't want to be on set looking crazy or, you know, looking tired. So yeah.
Oh yeah. You got to exercise wisdom for sure. So the balance is, you know, is, I'm not going to say it's, you know, easy, but definitely have a foundation, which for me is God. To, you know, positive attitude. And I'll also add this that I didn't say is have a positive core group that wants to see you win truly. Not just people. Because you have some people closest to you that also want to see you fail too. Believe it or not. They won't say it, but you know what it is. But if you have a true village, and I'm so thankful that God, even at this age, has brought new people in my life who I know got my back.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I just had that conversation with a young lady today, like family, friends, people that you think that are closest to you that don't want to see you win. They might put on a mask and and smile on your face. So how is your little business going? How is the acting going when they do not want to see you win?
Yeah, they what shows you are? How many lines you got? What is it? Don't ask that.
You know, why would you ask? How many you get in the lines? What does it matter?
Just support. I'm glad because they don't know what the work is, what goes behind, what all the editing and the stuff we're doing behind the scenes and the self-tapes and the rejections and the no's and the yeses and the things and the this and the that and everything that comes with it before you even get to set.
That part.
And then it might be cut out. Or they might lose you.
Work for 12 hours and then you're like, wait a minute, I was right there in the camera. What happened?
Yeah. Or you show up to a premiere and the scene that you did is not even in it. Let's talk about that.
I'm flabbergasted.
Look, don't be, because it happens. So that's what I'm saying. You got to prepare yourself, and you have to have thick skin in this industry, because if you don't, you'll fall apart. And that's why I'm thankful that there was time in between where I was in this corporate world and I learned a lot from corporate sharks, because there ain't nothing like that. And when you bring that into this world, man, this stuff's cake. You go through, not say you don't feel, but have a solid base of people around you, period. If somebody's hating or, oh, it's just in language like that, I don't accept that. It's never just.
Right.
Everything that you do is intentional and means something.
That's right.
So
well said.
Oh, can I do one more quick plug? I'd say one thing I forgot about. If I can say this, and I don't know where everybody is, but if you're in Atlanta, March 26th, I'm having a conference at Georgia Tech called The Future Is Her. It's focused on primarily women, but men all are invited. Your presence is welcome. But we're talking about AI across different verticals. So AI in manufacturing, AI in arts and entertainment, AI in fintech. So it's a bunch of different verticals that we have, but you can go to georgiaaim.org, www.georgiaaim.org, and purchase your tickets for the Future Is Her conference, March 26th.
Awesome.
Great time. We got a great panelists, and we'd love to have you in the building.
Awesome. Okay, awesome. It sounds like that's a Thursday, so
it is. It's one week.
We'll be working here, but
Yeah, I mean, but a lot of times you can get excused for work, because a lot of companies, there'll be a lot of companies that'll be there representing, as well. And honestly, if actually I have an opening for the arts and entertainment. So if you want to talk, anybody wants to talk about AI in the industry, I have a slot or two available, so we can talk about that offline as well. But
yeah, I'm going to be picking
for the viewers in the Atlanta metro region, definitely come check us out. Or if you're not, we have people that fly in too, so come see
I'm
us.
definitely going to be picking your brain about AI, so don't be looking at the phone and be ignoring my calls either.
No.
So.
That just means we'll be at the conference on the 26th, and I'm going to come back on the show, and I'm going to tell everybody whether or not you came or not.
I will say this, so we go live every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. unless we have other arrangements. So more than likely we're going to be here live, but you can definitely come back in on the show and fill us in about how it all went, because I'm sure you're going to have more than one, right?
We've had, this is our second annual. The first one was really well received. We generally do it during the day, by the way, too. So it's during the day, and you don't have to stay for the whole day. I mean, there's different sessions that may pique your interest as well. So It's definitely worth your while. I do have some of our industry friends joining us for certain panels, and there's some nice surprises that'll be there that I won't give away just yet. But yeah, definitely, if you're in the building in the Atlanta region, come check us out at Georgia Tech.
I'm gonna put that on my calendar because I am here, but they're both in North Carolina. So I know that Dr. Cece is a teacher. Yessie, she's working, and all that other stuff too. So, but I'm definitely gonna put that down on my calendar to be there.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so you can fill us in when we log in and say, how did the event go? Yes, I love that.
No doubt, no doubt.
So we're going to pivot over to last minute words. So this is an opportunity for you all to say whatever's in your heart, whether it be a quote, a paragraph, how they can find you, follow you, anything that comes to mind. So for you to get a snapshot of how that looks, we're going to have Dr. Cece start us first. Nadine, you go second. Dr. Scott will go third, and I'll close out with the remaining sponsors and my last minute words.
Yes, fantastic. So, hey, I'm your girl, Sandra, the Actions with Inspire for Purpose. You can find me at the www.inspireforpurpose.com or girlswithgigs.com. I want to leave you all with the scripture tonight because we've been talking about a lot of things. I want to be able to motivate you. So I'm coming from Jeremiah 29, 11, and 12. And you all should know this. If you don't know this, you're going to know this tonight. But God knows the plans that he has for you. And those are the plans of peace and not of evil. It's to give you a future and a hope. And here it says that you will call upon him and you will go and you will pray and he will listen to you. Not only will he listen to you, but he will also answer you. So today I want you guys just to take a little bit of time out of your day to go and sit with the Lord and see, right, what he's saying to you, and then also speak to him. As always, love and light and inspire for purpose.
Awesome. As you guys know, my name is Nadine Barton, Nadine the author. So you can find me on www.nadinebarton, NADEANBARTON.com. If you'd like to read some of my books, I have 2 of them in audio, or you could find me, just put my name in on Amazon. Also, an entrepreneur. I was a retired travel agent, but God works in mysterious ways. So I'm back being a travel agent again as of yesterday. But yeah, my information is still the same with my travels. So if you like to book, and I'm the travel agent that will book you, and you're able to, pay your trips in increments. So once you pay your deposit, then I allow you. I am that patient, y'all. It's a tedious thing, but a lot of people don't like to do it. But I'll, help you with setting up your trip so you could pay in increments if you can't afford it in a lump sum. But anyways, you could find me on Instagram at NADIAB_1202, or here on Facebook, my name, Nadine Barton, on Facebook. And like I always say, life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react. So make sure that you treat people kind. Okay.
All right, great. And yeah, I'll be booking a flight, so I'll be hitting you up. Dr. C, yeah, I love you. Actually stole my thunder a bit, but that was confirmation. So I love it. Jeremiah 29:11 is definitely one of my favorite verses, and that was actually the one that came to my heart. But I say I'll just hit you with a little number 2 punch here, which is another great one. Philippians 4:6-7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your request to God. And that's one of the things that I want to just encourage you all tonight is not to be fearful. You're wonderfully made. You can go into the situation. You can go into whatever you want to do with God and make it happen. I'm a living testament of making my dreams come true. And even though I'm not hitting where I want to be just yet, I know every day I'm taking a step to be there, with faith, family, foundation. So thank you for having me. You can find me on Instagram at Dr. RYSCOTT, Rye Scott, Dr. Rye Scott. You can find me on Facebook, Rye Scott. And yeah. Oh, and one more thing I want to add is my final last words. You talked about tea earlier, and I was backstage, but I want to put you D to something. Now, I'm not getting paid for this or anything. So this is free advertisement. I hate doing stuff like this, but I want to tell you because it's the bomb. You can get this at any Asian shop. These little turmeric ginger honey crystals. I had these on set. Somebody put me onto this. Amazing. You could get these. So if you might want to screenshot this, you can get it at the Asian stores. Incredible. Changed life
We got those. Yeah.
And I wasn't a big tea person, but this is the bomb.
Hold it up again, Ryan. But you know what? I drink ginger tea. I'm from Jamaica, so you know I drink my ginger tea every single morning. And I go to the farmers market and they have those little ginger chews. So I'm always eating ginger or drinking the tea. So yeah.
And I didn't even know it has Bible verses on the back. So it even blesses you before you drink it.
Oh wow.
It found me. How about that?
So that's the tea, not candy, right?
Yeah, you put it in. They're like little crystals, and you just pour it in.
Oh, that's the tea that I just sent that to you last week because they have those in Publix, but they have it in just the crystals. But it's in, of course, it's from Jamaica. So, but you know, we're similar with the Asian culture too. So we might have the same thing, but it's in different packaging. But I'm definitely gonna try those out, though. I'm gonna look for those.
Yep.
Yeah. That is awesome. Yes, thank you. So before I say my last minute words, we're going to go on a quick sponsor break. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Hoy En Día TV. We'll be right back.
Sponsored by Collective Wear, available at www.yessirodriguez.com/shop and myrod-enterprise.com/shop.
Sponsored by Divine Beauty and Accessories. Watch Hoy En Día TV, Thursday, 7:30 p.m.
Also, April 18th, We Don't Wait, We Create event is coming to Raleigh, North Carolina. So we are calling models, actors, actresses, clothing designers, script and concept writers, brand ambassadors, directors, videographers, photographers, etc. Right? So this isn't a party. This is a room of opportunity. We are here to network, right? To increase your net worth. We don't wait, we create. So for those who are interested, RSVP at thecollectiveevents.net. Thecollectiveevents.net, RSVP, April 18th. You got to be in the building. You got to be there to win. So yes, hope to see you there. Also, for those who want to find me and follow me, just simply go on Google, Safari, Internet Explorer, and type in YESSE Rodriguez, Yessie Rodriguez, and voila, I'll pull up my social media handles, my sites, anything that you can think of. Big thank you to my amazing co-host and our amazing guest. We had a thought-provoking, deep conversation, very layered, and that is what we are here. Hoy en día hablamos de todo un poco. We talk a little bit of this and that, right? Hoy en día, fun fact, translates to now and today, because that's what we're talking about now and today. What is happening now and today? Because life happens now and today. Life is happening right now with us. We are positively motivating, inspiring, enlightening, educating, and entertaining you all, the viewers and listeners, with each and every episode. Thank you so much for tuning in and for your support. Until next time, see you soon.